Hey guys, this is Laura with Ribbon and Bows Oh My, and today we're going to make a double-lined boutique bow. So this is a boutique bow that has a backing to it that is another color, and in this case we're going to use our watermelon print, a Rabom exclusive, and hot pink grosgrain to back it. So you're going to need 4 lengths of ribbon total, 18 inches in length of 1.5 inch grosgrain to make this bow. Now our top layer is going to be our watermelon print and our backing layer is going to be hot pink. So to start, we're going to take our print face up and lay it perfectly down on top of the length of hot pink grosgrain. And you want to smooth your layers down so that there are no bumps or bulges. Now I'm going to go to the end of one of my overlaps and place a dot of hot glue. And it's not going to be a lot of hot glue, just enough to keep these things in place. I'm going to smooth it down. And then I'm going to repeat this step 3 more times. Now what's important here is that your ribbon is overlapped in a way that is very smooth. So smooth it out as you go along to the other ends. So next we're going to take 1 length of ribbon, match the tops, and make a crease right here where the loop ends. Now we do this with a lot of our boutique bows, and it's not structural, it just helps us keep all of our loops centered, so that when we go to fold, our ears are all the same length. So I'm going to do this on the other length of ribbon and make a really good visible crease. Now I'm going to open up my length of ribbon, and this is very thorough. You don't necessarily have to do it this way, but I'm going to go ahead and clip these 2 layers into place on either side of my crease. I'm going to fold the top layer down and place a thin dot of glue on either side of the crease. Now I don't want to go through the direct middle because eventually we're going to have to fold our bow through the middle to create the crease of our final bow. And we want the middle to be as thin as possible. We're already using another layer of grosgrain, so we really got to go easy. So I'm going to repeat this step, fold down my top layer very carefully, place 2 dots of glue, and then smooth my length of ribbon out. So now looking at the back layer, I'm going to overlap my creases to make a cross. And now this move is important. You want to go ahead and clip these into place. When we go to fold our bow, this area that we've clipped into place is actually going to be the front creases of our bow. So it's important that it doesn't move around. This is what holds all the loops in place. Now this is important too. Taking your lengths of ribbon in the back, you want to stack them one on top of the other, but you only want to overlap by maybe 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. Now hold this move in place by placing a dot of glue an inch back from the end of your ribbon to keep these moves together. And I'm going to tuck this under my top alligator clip just to keep everything in place. Now I'm going to repeat this same move, but this time the ribbon that was on bottom is now going to go on top. I'm going to overlap by maybe 3/4 of an inch to an inch. But I want to make sure when I'm looking at the back of my ribbon that this length of ribbon, this overlap, is just as wide as the one underneath it. And it is, it's looking good. Now again, because we don't want the center of our bow to be too bulky, I'm going to place a dot of glue holding these moves together about 1 inch back from the ends of my ribbon. Now this is where things get tricky. You want to make sure that you haven't let the front of your bow, those initial 2 crosshairs that you overlapped, you don't want to let that unplace itself. So you're going to hold everything very firmly in place and then remove your alligator clips and clip all layers together. Now you need to keep holding it pretty tight in your hand because even with your alligator clips on there, this could move around a little bit. So clip these guys in place. Now looking at the front of our bow, I'm going to remove one alligator clip and start my accordion fold on one end. And I want to make sure that I'm pinching all of my layers really tight in my left hand. Now I started my first move by placing it forward, but you could fold that first move back. So holding everything really tight, here's my favorite part. We're going to take a zip tie and wrap it around the center of the bow, and we're just going to pull it enough so that it hugs all of our layers into place, but we're not going to cinch very tight. So we want to be able to still move our zip tie and our knot around in the middle of it. Now at this point, you can move your layers around in the center. At this point, you can move your creases around in the middle to make them more symmetrical, and you can also move your zip tie closer to the center so that your ears are the same length and height. And that's looking really good. I love the way that looks. So I'm going to finish pulling my zip tie all the way and then trim him. Now take an alligator clip and make sure the sloped side is against the back of the bow and put in between the zip tie and the back of the bow. Flip it over and open up your alligator clip and place a dot of glue on the inside. Now place your matching 3/8 right on top of that piece of glue and wait for it to set. Now flip your bow around, dragging your knot across the front. And now we're going to glue it to the back. So open up your alligator clip and do some tricky work here to hold your ribbon in place while you also place glue on the inside. And then let that alligator clip close down on the glue, trim the end, and you're all done. So this is looking really sweet, and I love the way that the inside of the bow coordinates with the colors on the print. I used hot pink here, but you could use our solid grosgrain color watermelon as well. It'll match with our print too. You can find all of these supplies and so much more at ribbonandbowsomai.com.